for stopping by. And I guess this is a live stream, not an actual video, but you guys get what I'm saying. Um, so we are going to get started shortly, and we already have a new member. Thank you very much, Kathy, for joining the membership program. I saw someone else was asking about how do you become a member. All you need to do is join. There's a little join button right next to the subscribe button. If you click on that join button, then there are two options for you if you want to become a member. So that's how you become a member. We just opened up our private Discord, so I just figured out how to do it. I'm still new to Discord, so I'm still working on that, but just figured that out. So now we have a private Discord. So we have the regular Discord, and if you guys are asking what's a Discord, it's a group. It's a group chat basically, and we talk about stimulus check stuff in the group chat. We also talk about if you are interested in job announcements, looking for work, we talk about that in there as well. We have different channels within the Discord, and so we can talk about a variety of different things. So join the Discord. Discord is free. It's not private or anything like that. You will see a link that will come up for the Discord. And if any of the members, which I'm learning more about this whole Discord thing, if any of the members they can do their own invite. So you can just create an invite and send it out. So if one of the members could do that, I'd really appreciate it. Just send a link, an invite link out to everyone. But yeah, so that's how you, or that's, what was I going to say? That's how you become a member. And then we also have the Discord, and then we have the private Discord that are just for members. And Sylvia, thank you very much for joining the membership. We appreciate that. All right, guys. So we're going to get started momentarily. Today we're gonna look at a video that Mike Pence put out. Now this, I've seen some of this video. I haven't seen the whole thing. So I've just seen bits and pieces of it. I'm going to actually play the entire portion of this video for you guys. And it's about 12 minutes long, so it's a little long. I might cut it short just depending on where it goes. Like I said, I've seen parts of it, but I haven't seen the whole thing. So I don't, if it just kind of goes off into the campaign mode and, you know, Biden is the worst and all this kind of stuff, then we're just going to cut out of that, because that's not what our channel's about as far as what we're talking about. I'm not talking about the campaign. I'm more interested in what's going on right now as far as the next stimulus package. So if we do get it, if they do go on to those topics, then we'll just we'll leave that. I'll leave a link if you guys really want to watch the whole thing. I'll leave a link to it so you guys can check that out if you want to. But this is going to be more of a real reaction video, because like I said, I haven't seen it yet. So I don't know. I haven't seen the entire video, so I don't know exactly all the stuff that he's going to discuss. So we'll just kind of go over that. And we have people in the building here. We have Miss Happy Apple. Thank you, Miss Happy Apple, for all that you do. She's going to help out and moderate today, as well as Sherry is here. Thank you, Sherry. She's going to moderate as well. So if I can ask you guys to do one thing, you guys know what that is. Hit that like button. If you could do that, I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you are not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel. We are definitely, we need more subscribers. We need more subscribers. I have a lot of people that watch, and just looking at my numbers now, I haven't been pushed out to new audiences. So the people who are watching now are generally the people who have already subscribed. We do have a few people who haven't subscribed, so I'm asking you guys if you could please subscribe. And I'm still working on trying to get YouTube to promote me out to a broader audience, more people. That's what you want. You actually want, you want to see, when I look at my stats, I want to see more people watching my videos that are not subscribed than people who are subscribed. I know it's the opposite. It sounds like the opposite, right? It sounds like it should be the other way around. But the reality is you want more people who are not subscribed watching your channel. That means that YouTube is pushing you out to more people. So it's kind of a weird thing. Like YouTube will push me out now to the people who watch my videos, but they're not pushing me out to different people. So anyway, I'm telling you guys all this behind the scenes stuff, but I just kind of want you to know why I ask for certain things, why I ask for you guys to subscribe, why I ask for you guys to like the videos. And that's the big reason why. Another thing that I'm going to be doing, I've had a few people ask me this, and I kind of went away from it, but I think I will come back to it and put some more videos out where I do a recap. So if I do a live stream, usually a live stream's about an hour to an hour and 30 minutes. Not everyone has time to watch that hour and 30 minutes, right? So what I do, or what I've done in the past, is I've done kind of a recap where I'll take one of the stories and then I'll repost that as a regular video. And people have been asking me to do that because some people don't have time to watch the whole live stream, or they're working on the weekend or what have you, and they want to see the most beneficial or the most important part of the live stream, because a lot of the live stream I'm answering questions and things like that, but if I have a real good point that I want to put out there, then I will definitely, in the future, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make the little recap video and then put that out for you guys. Usually hopefully it'll be under 20 minutes each video. That way you guys can get the good, or the most important parts. Sometimes I'm just talking, like right now I'm just talking. I need to get to the show, so that's what we're going to do right now. How do you say that? Tomasina. Thank you very much. Or is it Tomasina? I don't know. Thank you very much for your super chat. I really appreciate it. Let me know how you say your name, because I don't like saying people's name wrong. And she's saying, keep up the good job. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. That stuff like that, just those words keep me going. It really do, because it can be a little stressful sometimes when you get out, when you're doing these live streams and getting everything set up and all that. So, yeah. All right. Mindy, thank you very much for the super chat. Really appreciate that. All right. What's it say? I unsubscribe because you take too long to get to the topic. Okay. All right, Trish. All right. Hurry up. Maybe we can get your subscribe. Maybe we can get you to subscribe again. But you're watching. You're still watching. That's good. That's support enough. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and get to the first topic here that we want to talk about, and that is Mike Pence. So Mike Pence, he was on Fox Business, and this was a few days ago, and I didn't have a chance to play this earlier, so I want to play it now. So we'll go ahead and get started with it. Since Trish wants us to get going, we'll go ahead and or not Trish. Is it Trina or is it Trish? I think it's Trish. There you go. It's Trish. So let's go ahead and get started with this video.
The Vice President of the United States of America, Mike Pence. Mr. Vice President, great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it.
You too, David. Great day for America. Great jobs report today. 1.4 million jobs and a huge decline in unemployment down to 8.4%. It's a testament to the resilience of the American people and to the strong foundation that President Donald Trump poured in our first 3 years. The American comeback is happening all across America.
Now, we still have a lot of people unemployed. We have made up about half of the number of people that lost their jobs as a result of the lockdown earlier, and that's very encouraging that we've made up so much in so little time. But that still leaves about over 10 million people, and we have the expiration of the federal unemployment benefits. Now, there is this executive order that the president put out extending those benefits at less money, but extending them to $300, $400 if states put in $100 a week on that. What's the status with that executive order?
Well, you make a great point first. You know, at the height of this pandemic, our economy had lost 22 million jobs. But because of that foundation that President Trump poured, of less taxes, less regulation, more American energy, free and fair trade, we literally have added back 10 million jobs. But to your point, we have a ways to go. And that's why, as Congress has just continued to refuse to reach an agreement to extend the Paycheck Protection Program or unemployment insurance, President Trump took executive action. And at this point, we have roughly 40 states who have been approved for that $300 unemployment extension. States can add another $100 to that. But I want to assure your viewers, David, that we're going to continue to work closely with leaders in Congress in both political parties. Nobody wants to send more direct relief to American families. Again, another check to American families more than President Donald Trump. We want to continue the Paycheck Protection Program. We want to address unemployment benefits through that relief package. But the other thing is we're going to continue to take our case all across this country, David, that we need 4 more years of the kind of policies that laid a foundation for this V-shaped recovery that's happening all across America. I mean, it's remarkable to think that Joe Biden actually was bragging yesterday about his plan to raise taxes on American businesses in the midst of a global pandemic. But when you look at Joe Biden and the Democrat Party and their radical left agenda, higher taxes, more regulation, a climate change agenda, they want to stifle American energy, they want to abolish fossil fuels, and go back to the kind of economic surrender that resulted in half of our trade deficit being with China alone when we took office. It's a clear choice. So we're going to continue to support this recovery. The president will take executive action. We'll work with Congress to provide additional relief to put Americans back to work. But the other thing we're going to do over the next 60 days is make sure we get 4 more years of a president who's created nearly 7 million jobs in our first 3 years and is going to bring this economy all the way back and then some in the next 4 years.
Mr. Vice President, the president was...
All right, just before I forget, so he just said that this administration created 7 million jobs. Well, we know the reality, right? So you create 7 million jobs, you lose 40 million jobs, and then you gain back 10 million jobs. Those are kind of the numbers. These are rough numbers, but it's just interesting because we're still not doing well. But if you listen to the vice president, everything is just on the uptick. We're in this V curve or V recovery or whatever they want to call it. But the reality, and people know, like you guys know how you see your cities, right? You see the areas that you live in. You know how you're doing financially, and I would guess that most of us are saying, yeah, things are still really, really tough. We're not even close to being out of the woods. And so, I'm all for, putting a positive light on things, but there are realities, and sometimes you really need to look at the realities and say, okay, these are the things that we need to focus on, not focus so much on the whole campaign thing, and we're doing great, and this is what they want to do to you, the other side, all this kind of stuff. Focus on your record. Be honest with the people when it comes to your record, and don't give them this rosy picture of the situation when we know it's not rosy. We know that there are things going on right now that are ridiculous. Okay, let's go ahead and get back.
Talking about having the possibility of a vaccine by October. Now, Democrats are suggesting that we may be sidestepping some of the safety precautions of rolling out a vaccine in order for the president to have an election boost. How do you respond to that charge?
It really is remarkable from the outset of this pandemic, where Democrats, if you remember in January and February, Democrats in Congress were focused on trying to impeach the president. President Donald Trump suspended all travel from China. We stood up the White House coronavirus task.
By the way, the president was impeached. Okay, so trying to impeach him, he was actually impeached. He just was not thrown out of office. Okay.
But lesser known, David, is that in the first week of February, when we first received the coding for the coronavirus, we went straight to work on a vaccine. And from very early on, President Trump sat down with our major research companies and said, look, we need medicines, therapeutics at record time. He told the FDA, we want you to clear away unnecessary red tape for the development of medicines that have literally saved lives. But to think that we have at least 3 different vaccines already in phase 3 clinical trials is a testament to the energy this president has brought to it and the incredible innovation of American research companies. But make no mistake about it, we're not going to cut corners in the development of a vaccine. But at the same time, through Operation Warp Speed, the president's made it clear that we want a safe and effective vaccine available for the American people absolutely as soon as it's possible to have. That's why with Operation Warp Speed, we're actually manufacturing several of these promising vaccines now. So the moment that the FDA says that it is safe and effective, we will have tens of millions of doses to be able to administer to the American people. And all of our best scientists tell us that it's not if, but when.
Well,
everybody knows we believe we're going to have one or more vaccines for the coronavirus before the end of this year, but the sooner the better, David. Absolutely right.
I just want to move on to another.
There are people that are out there talking down a vaccine, but this is.
It's crazy how Mike Pence is just talking over the reporter. He's trying to ask questions and he just keeps talking. This is very common for politicians on both sides to just grandstand, because if you grandstand, you only have a certain amount of time that you're going to be on the show. And so let's say it's 12 minutes here and they tell them, okay, we're going to do a slot. It's going to be about 12 minutes. And so they can just keep talking. And if they just ignore the reporter, then they're not going to, that person who's interviewing him is not going to be able to ask some of the questions that he wants to ask or she wants to ask. So it's interesting how, he just continues to talk. They have these talking points already. Okay. And I'm not criticizing, specifically Mike Pence, but I'm just saying this is how politicians do things in order to come on a show and not get the tough questions. They just keep going on and on and on and on, and then it's over. And then they're like, okay, well, thank you for being here. All right, let's get back.
This is an example of incredible American innovation. Every American should be proud.
Mr. Vice President, forgive me for jumping in. There's a long delay on this interview, so forgive me if I do that again. But I just want to ask about another politician who's been throwing barbs at the president and the administration. That's Governor Cuomo from New York, who actually in the beginning of this pandemic, when the president worked with governors to get all of the respirators to the states that couldn't get them, to open up hospital beds, Governor Cuomo had been very appreciative of the president's efforts to work with the state of New York. Now he's singing a different tune. I want to play a tape and get your reaction. Play Governor Cuomo.
He can't come back to New York. He can't. He's going to walk down the street in New York? Forget bodyguards. He better have an army if he thinks he's going to walk down the street in New York. He is persona non grata in New York City. And I think he knows that. And he'll never come back to New York because New Yorkers will never forget how gratuitously mean he has been.
Now, Mr. Vice President, that's a 180-degree change from the way he was in April and May when he was very appreciative of what the president is doing. Your take on that?
Well, the people of New York know that President Donald Trump was there in their darkest hour. We surged millions of personal protective supplies. We produced ventilators. We sailed a Navy ship into the harbor. We built hospitals. We saw New York through that challenging time. And shortly after that, Governor Cuomo said that it was phenomenal what the president and this administration had done. I think the people of New York see through all of this kind of rhetoric. I mean, the heartbreaking thing is that, today we've lost more than 180,000 of our countrymen, but 1 out of 6 of the Americans that died in the coronavirus died in the state of New York. And many of them died because of the bad decisions that Governor Cuomo and Mayor de Blasio made. They were late in responding to the need for a lockdown. And we all know that Governor Cuomo ignored the clear guidance from CDC and our task force and literally returned thousands of seniors who were positive for the coronavirus back to nursing homes. I grieve for the loss of life, and the families that are looking on know that you'll always be in our hearts and prayers. But to have Governor Cuomo just playing politics with this rhetoric, look, people of America know better. The people of New York know better. And I'll tell you what, no army required. Karen Pence and I are looking forward to being in New York City on 9/11 next week, because nothing could keep us away from remembering our fallen and honoring our heroic first responders as we remember September 11th. And President Donald Trump, I know, loves the city of New York, and the people of New York know what this president has done and will always do for that great city.
It is going to be quite an anniversary, 19 years since 9/11 hit us. Mr. Vice President, I want to get your response to a headline in The Atlantic. It is, frankly, a very nasty piece. It's all
right, so I wanted the part where they talked about the stimulus checks. I thought it was going to be in that interview. Maybe I should have watched the whole thing. But let me just kind of, I saw a clip before where he talked about it. Maybe it was on CNBC. It wasn't on Fox Business. I'm not sure. So I apologize for that. I mean, he did talk about some things, but he didn't talk about the main thing that I wanted to focus on. And so he did mention in an interview last week about the stimulus check, okay, about the next round, the next stimulus package. And he did say that the president is looking forward to providing direct payments, so providing stimulus checks. And so now we see them kind of coming back to this, okay, because they left it for a little bit. I'm talking about the White House. I'm talking about President Trump. He kind of went away from the stimulus checks, I'd say, for 3-4 weeks. And you didn't hear him saying anything about stimulus checks at all. And now it looks like they're coming back to it. This is something that has to happen. I mean, when I say it has to happen, I mean the talking points have to come back to stimulus checks. You have a lot of people who are interested in stimulus checks. And if you are not talking about stimulus checks, you are going to upset a lot of people right before the election. And so this talk has to come back. Now, I'm not guaranteeing you guys that we're going to get a stimulus check. I'm just saying that anyone who is running their campaign, the campaign managers, all these people, they are telling them, hey, you need to get on message, and that message is we need more stimulus checks. And so that's why we're hearing more of this. So we'll see where it goes. The president yesterday, if you watched my live stream yesterday, the president on Friday actually mentioned that there's $300 billion that's sitting somewhere waiting for the approval from Congress so he can go ahead and turn that money into stimulus checks. And there are a few people who did comment on that, more than a few, saying, "Oh, well, yeah, the money's coming from this, this PPP loan money," and we don't know that. We don't know where the money's coming from. He's not telling us where the money's coming. We're assuming that's where the money's coming from, but we do not know exactly where the money's coming from. So it's one of those things. What I have a problem with is the fact that you're putting that information out there. The president's putting this information out there saying, oh, there's $300 billion, but he's not telling us where that money's coming from. So he's getting our hopes up. We don't even know if that is correct as far as there being that money there. Now, if he would have told us where it was coming from, we easily could have fact-checked that and found out, okay, yeah, this is where this money is sitting there, and it's not being used. But since he didn't give us that information, we don't know what he's talking about, and we can't confirm what he's talking about. So now you're getting people's hopes all up, thinking, oh, yeah, there's money just waiting. All we need is Congress to approve it, and we'll get our stimulus checks. But we don't know that, right? We don't have the information because he's not giving us the information. And so that's what I have a problem with. If you're ready to talk about, oh, yeah, we're going to get another round of stimulus checks, all we need is, a one sentence or one line sentence saying that you can send the money and we'll go ahead and do it. Let us know where it's coming from. Don't give us this, half story, and get everyone excited about something. That's my problem. And there were a few people in the comments on the video yesterday, on the live stream yesterday, that were, they were saying that, like, yeah, well, he's coming through for the American people. Okay, well, tell us how you're coming through. Tell us how it's getting to us. Make it believable, right? Linda, thank you very much for becoming a member, Linda. Really appreciate that. There are also people that were talking about the fact that that the president did some other things with executive orders, so he's going to do this just like that. Um, I don't know about you guys. I think the executive order, when it comes to the enhanced unemployment, I think that was good. Um, Although it's only a short period of time, I think it's going to help people. But when it comes to the other things that were in this executive order, mainly, and we still have to see what the eviction moratorium, how that's going to play out. The student loan thing, that didn't cost any money. All you're doing is just holding it off, right? So that's an easy executive order to do. But my biggest gripe with this whole executive order memoranda, the memoranda that was out there, is the fact that the payroll tax deferral is being forced upon people. And at this point, it's a loan. That's what I have a problem with. I have a huge problem with that. I don't think that's right. Like, how could you just push that on to someone, even if they don't want it? You're still pushing it on them. Now, I don't know if they're going to be able to opt out of it. I have not received it. I don't even know if my employer is going to go along with it. I still don't know. But I haven't received any information asking me if I wanted to opt out. So, yeah, you're doing all this stuff, and this is another problem that I have. You're doing all this stuff, this executive order, these memoranda, just because you're not willing to sit down and try to negotiate a real deal. That's the way that I look at it. So if you really want to do something for the American people, sit down with the other side and come to some type of an agreement. I will be putting out a video later today, and it's going to be actually, I'll probably put it out tomorrow morning. It'll be better tomorrow morning. But Stephen Mnuchin was interviewed earlier today, and they were asking him some different things about stimulus checks, stimulus package, all that. So I'm going to do a video, just a reaction video to that. I thought it was a pretty good interview. But the interviewer asked him, why doesn't the president just call everybody into the Oval Office and negotiate? And Stephen Mnuchin didn't really answer the question, but that's the logical thing to do. Call them all into the room and negotiate. But going around it saying, "Oh, there's money here. We have $300 billion, and we're going to go ahead and if Congress approves it, then we'll go ahead and get it done." Well, why don't you call them into the room and say, "Look, we have $300 billion. We want to get a stimulus check done. We need your support." Simple as that. Instead of doing it on TV during a press conference, why don't you call them in the room and tell them, "Hey, this is what needs to happen. The American people need stimulus checks." That seems logical to me. That seems like that person is representing me. That person is on my side if I see someone do something like that. But if you're just going to go on a press conference and say, "Oh, there's money out there, the Democrats don't want to, they're not going to want to sign it, or they're not going to want to go along with it, or we'll see if they want to go along with it," that's not doing anything. That's not being helpful. Call them in the room, work the thing out. What also I thought was interesting is that they are talking about the skinny bill. Now, the skinny bill will be unveiled this week. Now, I didn't think that the skinny bill was going to get any support, but it looks like Stephen Mnuchin is on board with the skinny bill. And he doesn't want to call it a skinny bill. He wants to call it a targeted bill. But it looks like he's on board, which means Mitch McConnell will be on board, because Mitch McConnell pretty much wants to do whatever the White House wants to do. That's not really, a leader. He's not showing leadership. He's just going to do whatever someone else wants to do. But it sounds like they're on board for this skinny bill. And if they are on board for the skinny bill, we know the skinny bill is not going to have a stimulus check in it. Or at least that's the talk right now. It's not going to have a stimulus check in it. So maybe what they're planning on doing is getting the skinny bill passed without a stimulus check, and then talking about this extra $300 billion, that will be the stimulus check. So we'll have two different bills, I guess, or will they put it all in one? Who knows? But that's what it looks like. They're trying to, how they're trying to maneuver this. Now we'll have to see what happens this week. Things will pick up this week. We'll see the Senate return, and then we'll see what they're going to do with the skinny bill. But I didn't think the skinny bill would get support, but it looks like, according to Stephen Mnuchin, they're open to this skinny bill, this targeted bill, and that's what they want right now. They want to do the targeted bills, where it's a smaller bill, and then they say, oh, we can always come back to the table. But like I said, the danger of this, we have 2 months before an election right now. The danger is you get a little bill done, and then the other stuff that you wanted, like hazard pay and like some of the other funding, or even the time frame of the funding, because we don't know how long enhanced unemployment is going to last, right? We don't know how there's a lot of stuff that's up in the air. So let's say they do enhanced unemployment until the middle of November. Then we have an election, and either Trump gets elected or he doesn't get reelected. Or if Trump gets reelected or he doesn't, we're still going to be in the same situation, and it's going to be even worse because some politicians aren't going to want to do anything. Some legislators are going to lose their jobs. That's for sure. Because of all this stuff, some legislators are not going to be there come January 20th. And if you don't get reelected as let's just say McConnell, Mitch McConnell's 5 points up right now in Kentucky, but let's say he doesn't get reelected. Do you think he's going to want to do anything? Do you think he's going to want to legislate at that point? No, he's not going to want to do anything. So we'll see where it goes. I want to know what you guys think, though. So in the comment section or in the chat, let me know what you guys are talking about. If you have a question for me, just put @TEC, and I'll make sure to address those questions. And also, if you guys can do me a favor, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's get our subscribers up. We have an upgrade. Thank you very much, Mamie. I think it's Mamie. Thank you very much for the upgrade. So she upgraded her membership. So I really appreciate that. Let's see. So I'm gonna go ahead and start from the top and work my way down. And so right now the talk is stimulus checks, and we knew, like, the thing that gets me fired up about this whole thing is this stuff could have been avoided. We could have had this done in June. We could have had a stimulus package in June if we had politicians that were open to this. We all saw what was going on, especially at the tail end of June. That's when our numbers really started to increase again when it came to coronavirus. So we saw this stuff, but we just had politicians that were just being hard-headed. They didn't want to do anything. They didn't want to move. They wanted to wait and see. And some of these same politicians, the White House included, are coming up now and saying this is an emergency. We need to get this done. We need to do executive orders when we could have had an actual bill. I mean, it blows my mind. Like I look at it and if I don't care. Like, people are saying, oh, the White House, the White House, the president's administration handled coronavirus poorly and all that. I don't care how you see that, as far as if you think he did or he didn't. But this stimulus package, I followed the whole thing, and this stimulus package that we're working on right now was handled poorly, very poorly. And now we're in a situation where we do have a president that's doing executive orders, taking money from other departments, taking money from the Hurricane Relief Fund in order to try to, mend this whole mess up. I mean, but it's been a disaster. Like, there's no way that you could say that this has been a smooth process and people are being helped, because no, it's taken way too long. And the vast majority of the time was just spent waiting and seeing, not doing anything at all. And that's why we're in the predicament that we're in. because people wanted to, oh, let's wait to see the jobs numbers. Oh, yep, you know what? Jobs numbers look good. Let's just wait again. Oh, you know what? They look good again. Let's just wait. And the jobs numbers, and Mike Pence was talking about the jobs numbers, but the jobs numbers have slowly declined this whole time. So you had in May, it was what, 4.3, I think 4.3 million new jobs, and then it dropped down to 1.7, and then it dropped down to something like, I can't even remember the exact numbers, but it's dropped down, and I talked about it yesterday, but it's dropped down every month since then, because of course, if you shut the doors to everyone, we're on a lockdown, then yes, businesses aren't going to be open. But as soon as the lockdown is lifted, which it was in June, then things start opening up again, right? And then late June, we had a spike again, so people started closing things up a little bit. And then we look at August, or July and August, and it's like, wow, okay. It continues to go down. Our last jobs numbers was 1.4 billion, 1.4 million. So we still have a lot of people unemployed. And the fact that, are they going to be able to get jobs, go back to their employer? Some of them aren't going to be able to do that. A lot of them aren't going to be able to do that, according to some estimates. So we'll have to see where they go with this. But I mean, it's not one of those things where I listen to Mike Pence and I'm thinking, wow, this is over. Everything is over. Just listening to him, but no, it's not even close. I mean, this is false hope. This is clickbait. That's what it is. Like you're telling us stuff that we're seeing is not the case. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. We'll get to some questions here. So if you have any questions for me, just put at TEC. Not going to do anything at all. He's talking empty. That's Thelma. So Thelma's pretty much saying, yeah, Trump is not going to do anything at all. We'll see what happens. Yeah, that could be just I mean, the whole 300 billion thing could just be a way for him to, I don't know. We'll see. We're going to find out where this money is coming from and if it can be taken. I'm sure people will start to come out and say that. So we'll see. But the easiest thing to do is to call people into the room and negotiate. That's the easiest thing to do. And I don't know why politicians don't see that. I'm sure, I know they see it. They're choosing not to do that because for them, that's the tough thing to do, I guess. President Trump, I don't think, wants to look like he can't negotiate. Let's just face it. Like, what else could it be? Like, if you're a negotiator, a master negotiator, why wouldn't you want to negotiate? Why wouldn't you want to negotiate if that's what you say is your strong point? Mr. Alexander, thank you very much for the super chat. Thank you very much. Let's see. Thank you for your channel and taking the big plunge into visit Medellin, considering on living long term. Wow. Okay. Or Brazil. Thanks, our brother. Cool, man. Looking at going to Colombia or Brazil, long term. I might do that in the future as well. Long term Colombia. I don't know about Brazil. I've never been there. Okay. Vote blue. Vote blue 2020. So he's saying that Clear Value Tax wrote a letter to Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, and Trump. He called them all out. Yeah. I should write one as well. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm hoping letters get actually to where they need to get or where they need to go. They're not going to reach the president. They probably won't even reach Nancy Pelosi or Mitch McConnell. But and when I say not reach, they'll reach an aid, but they're probably not going to get further than that. It's probably it's better to be on here on YouTube putting out videos. That might actually reach people better. But that's good. That's the way you should do it. You should write letters. That's a part of the whole process, letting your politicians know how you feel about certain things. So that is, I encourage that. And in all my videos, if you check my description, I have the phone numbers to the politicians. So there's the circuit, the Capitol Hill. You can call any of the Congress people on Capitol Hill. I have the number for the White House. So you can call them and tell them how you feel. But yeah, I don't know. I think we've gotten to a point now where politicians, it's so crazy, but they're out of touch. They are out of touch with what's going on in the country. Let's see. Karen saying, thank you for all that you all that you bring to us. Let's see. Love you with all the good info. Give to us invest. Thank you. Thank you very much, Karen. I appreciate that. All right, guys. Questions, just put them in the chat. Norman, thank you very much for joining the membership there. Thank you. Don is asking, do I know what Democrats are asking for in the stimulus bill? I don't know we don't know what the Democrats are asking for, or the Republicans are. I mean, we know what the HEROES Act, that's what the Democrats wanted, right? Now, I'm sure they're negotiating bits and pieces of the HEROES Act and the HEALS Act, but we don't know the specifics. I think right now, and Stephen Mnuchin just said this earlier today, it's the number. It's the 2.2 trillion or the 1.3 trillion. That's what they're hung up on right now. I think a lot of the things that they want in the bill are the same, but it's the number. Okay, it's that top number. And the way that works is what Nancy Pelosi has already indicated is she's just going to put certain time frames on things. So enhanced unemployment, it might be 6 months, it might be 3 months, depending on how much money they have. So if they have 2.2 trillion, then maybe they can extend it out to 6 months instead of 3 months. So that's kind of the way that they're working, and that's why Nancy Pelosi is really pushing for this top line number, because you can have the benefits for a longer period of time. A lot of the stuff that a lot of these different benefits they agree on, and so they just need to get a top line number, and that's the big argument right now. I just what bothers me about this whole 1.3 trillion or 2 trillion, 2.2 trillion, why not go 2.2 trillion? I don't understand like the urgency to only keep it at 1.3 trillion and being at a point where you don't even want to talk anymore, because like I said, we know what's going to happen. We know there won't be another bill. So the fact that Stephen Mnuchin is putting it out there, and some of the other politicians and Mark Meadows and people are, we can do another bill. We can do another bill. They know that's not going to happen. They know, I can guarantee you that will not happen. And so, because we're 2 months from an election, and they're not going to do anything after the election. The only way that we're going to get something else is if a new administration comes in January 20th, then we'll probably get something else. If that doesn't happen, then guess what? We're probably not going to see anything else. This will be it. So the fact that they're saying, that Stephen Mnuchin is saying, yeah, if we need money, then we'll just do another bill. He's not being honest, and he knows that, and he knows that sounds good to the public, because you're saying, well, yeah, that sounds reasonable. Why don't we just go ahead and take care of 1.3 trillion now, and then if we need more money in the future, then we can go ahead and do another bill. He knows that's not going to happen, and so we'll have these short time frames. And so you'll have enhanced unemployment for 3 months, and then guess what? At the end of November, you're not going to get it. It's over. It's done. So that's where we are right now. It sounds more logical to me just to do one bill and not have to worry about it. Not have to worry about it until the next administration comes in, and I say it like President, like Joe Biden's going to win. But I'm looking at the numbers. I'm looking at the polls right now. Joe Biden is up. Okay, so there's a very good possibility that Joe Biden will win, and he's up higher. His poll numbers are higher than what Hillary Clinton's poll numbers were. Okay, so when you look at that, and I'm looking at Real Clear Politics, they do an average of all the polls. When you look at that, that should tell you something. And we're talking about an incumbent president. We're talking about a president he's had 4 years. Very rarely, and you look at pretty much look at any person running for office. If they're an incumbent and they're behind in the polls, they're in trouble, because usually the incumbent, they automatically get that bump just because they're the incumbent. They're the name. They're known. But if you're down in the polls and you're an incumbent, you're in trouble. You're in trouble, because you should be dominating those polls. If people are happy with your performance, you should be up in the polls. People should be saying good things about you. If I call you on the phone and I want to know about how you feel about the president, if you're doing a good job and you have a good record, then people will be, they'll say, yeah, I'll reelect him, but it's not happening. It's not happening. He's not doing that in the polls. And so, and with all the other things that are going on, the civil unrest and stuff like that, the president's angle, which I don't know what campaign manager would be okay with this, but his angle is like, look at what's going on right now. If you elect Joe Biden, it's going to be like this. Wait a minute. It's like this. It's like this right now, and this is your administration. That doesn't that doesn't look good. It doesn't look good when you say stuff like that. Let's see. I appreciate you reading my comment. Okay, no problem. No problem. Vote Blue 2020. All right. And what I didn't tell you guys, I should have said it right off the front, but we are going to be doing a giveaway. And we'll be doing a giveaway on the Discord. Okay, so there is a Discord, and there should be a link that's coming out from the Discord. So if you guys want to join that, it's a stimulus check Discord. And I am going to post a link right now. Let's see. I'll post this link for you guys. So you need to have Cash App. It's going to be a $50 Cash App giveaway. I will be doing it between the time that I end. So it will be, I'll make it easy. So whatever time I end, it will be within an hour from that time frame. Okay. So we'll be over in the Discord, and you need to have Cash App. And all I'll do is I'll ask you to, it's going to be an emoji. So I'm going to ask you to send your Cash App user ID or username. It's usually, it'll start with the $. So $ Travel Explore Click. And then you need to put a certain emoji. I'm going to tell you the emoji when I'll show you the emoji when I put the notification out. Okay, and then whatever person, if I say the first person, if you're the first person, then you win $50. If I say the 10th person, if you're the 10th person, then you win $50. All right, so we will be doing that. We'll be doing that for sure. All right. Yeah, so as far as the negotiations go, and I do see people asking about what exactly are they talking about in the negotiations. We don't know, okay? I don't know all the things that they're asking for. All we know is what they say when they come out, right? And of course, Steve Mnuchin and Mark Meadows are going to play it up like, oh, the Democrats don't want to do this, they don't want to do that, and then the Democrats are going to say the same thing. But we don't know exactly what they're talking about. It would be nice if we did have, like, we were able to see what they were talking about. That would be nice. That would help us out as far as finding out where they are when it comes to certain things, and should we be spending more money or not. But we don't have that information. Karen saying, thank you for reading my comment. No problem. Let's see. Sungrown gives me a star, or is that a sun? And a peace sign. Thank you very much. Okay. All right, guys, I'm just looking through the questions here, see if anybody has any questions that they're asking. TJ's asking me to say the intro. I said it earlier, man. You should have been here. Norman's talking about Trump is, I think, is it woozy or wooey about the military and vets. Yeah, and this is, and I talked about this yesterday. This could be a distraction. This whole $300, 300 billion for stimulus checks. This could be one of those. I'm trying to distract you because there's some stuff that was going on with when it comes to, and this is alleged. This is in the Atlantic. They allege that President Trump said, or he called military vets losers and suckers, and so you have people coming out to support the president, and then you have people coming out to support the article that was written as well. So you have both sides there. But this is one of those things that doesn't look good, right? It would be horrible if he did say those things. The one person, John Kelly, has not spoken out yet about this, and this is even after the president badmouthed him during the press conference. John Kelly still hasn't said anything as far as if he was the person who provided this information. John Kelly would know. If you guys don't know, John Kelly was he was the chief of staff for a short time, as well as he was DHS, I believe. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out, and if John Kelly will say anything at all. But John Kelly was a 4-star general, so yeah, he would carry a lot of weight, definitely, if he did come out and say, yes, I was there, and this is what President Trump said. And one of the incidents, they were at John Kelly's son's gravesite, and Trump made some reference to certain things and why did they do this, and that kind of stuff. Why I don't, I'm not saying that in the right way, but I can't remember the exact wording, so I don't want to put stuff out there that's not right. But anyway, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But this is a huge story right now, and people are talking about this right now. So we'll see where that goes. But that could be one of the things. Is like, hey, you know what? We need to get off this subject. We need to get off this. So we need to start talking about some other things, where people maybe they'll forget about this whole discussion. So we'll see. Let's see. Yeah, Mary saying, why not give everyone 2 or 3 payments to cover during the time of the election? Yeah, I mean, realistically, why can't you give 2 if you have an extra $300 billion sitting around? That's one stimulus check, and then you can do another stimulus check in the one that you've already you're currently negotiating. I can guarantee you one thing: if this money was money that they could put towards business, I mean, and I guess it is. They're saying that it's coming from the PPP program, but they weren't able to use it. If it was money going to other things other than the people, they would probably find a way to make it, two payments. Or why don't you put 2 payments together? Give people $2,400 instead of $1,200. All right. Allison saying, I guess by John Kelly saying nothing, he's by John Kelly saying nothing, it means there is something bad to say. Yeah, there's some truth to that. Yeah, and then Dizzo's talking about how he treated John McCain. Yeah, and they said that he was upset about lowering the flag for John McCain after he passed away. And yeah. So, I mean, we know who some of the heroes were in this country, and I mean, and I'm talking recent time. We saw John McCain was a really good example of an American hero that he openly called him a loser. Well, he's talking about losing an election, but still, he's calling him a loser. And they said, well, no, he's a hero. He's a hero. He's not a hero. He's a hero because he was captured. I like people who weren't captured. That's what the president was saying, right? About him, about John McCain, and never had a good relationship with John McCain. Never could forgive him for not going along with the Obamacare, getting rid of Obamacare. And so it's sad. Even after he died, even after he passed away, John McCain passed away, the president still was talking bad about him. And that to me, that's like, that's, I don't know, that's the worst, right? Even after someone has passed away, you're still saying bad things about them. That doesn't, that hey, I'm speechless. I don't know what to say about that. And Darlene saying that I love that Trump wants to do an executive order. You know, when it comes to executive orders, and the president will tell you this himself, all you need to do is look back at videos, just go back maybe 5-6 years ago before he was elected, or even when he was running for office. He criticized Obama for doing executive orders. And part of his criticism was that he's not even negotiating with people. He's just doing these executive orders. Guess what? That's what we're seeing right now with our current president, with President Trump. He's doing executive orders because he doesn't want to negotiate, or he's choosing not to. I don't know what it is. Like, he's either afraid to negotiate, he's choosing not to negotiate. I don't know. Like, what is it? But to hear him, and like I said, you don't have to believe me. All you need to do is type in executive order President Trump. You can just put that and you'll probably pull up some stuff. But or you can put how does President Trump feel about Obama's executive orders? Click that and it will bring up a bunch of videos. You'll see what I'm saying, because that's all he talked about. That's all he talked about. And I don't know the numbers right now when it comes to executive orders, how many Obama did compared to Trump, but I would venture to say that they're pretty close as far as within the first 4 years. I would probably say Trump is higher, but I don't know that for a fact, so I don't want to put that out there. All right. All right, guys, any other questions? Okay. All right, guys, we'll be on for about 5 more minutes. So if you guys have any questions, just let me know, and I will answer those questions. And then remember, once we're done, go over to the Discord, sign up for the Discord right now. And it's free. You don't have to, it doesn't cost you anything. Just go over there, sign up. Let me post that link one more time. And then we'll do the $50 giveaway over there. Now, the giveaway will be in the stimulus check room. I will notify you guys, let you know when I come in. I'll just say, hey, everybody go over to the stimulus check room. And then you just go over there, and then we'll do it before, we'll do it before the end of the hour once we end. Thelma just says, I love how you speak the truth. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You know what? I'm just looking at it like this is the problem with I mean, we're in a situation right now where we are so divided as a country along party lines, and it's just crazy because then it makes you not see straight. Like, you look at things and you're like, oh, well, no, this is what he meant, or this is what he said, or this is what they said, or this is what they meant. I just look at it the way a normal person should look at something. And a lot of the stuff that's coming out, it's like, it's just ridiculous. Like, people are saying right now, fake news about and they even said in the chat about the whole Atlantic story about the veterans. But we've heard the president say bad things about veterans in the past. And so would it be a far reach for him to say those things that he said? I mean, we saw how he treated John McCain. We saw that he hired on all these generals and then fired them all. We saw that. And then after he fired them, then he said, like, he was talking about and this just happened. Okay, this just happened in the press conference. He's talking about John Kelly, and just saying that he couldn't handle the job. Like he wasn't, he wasn't strong enough to handle the job is pretty much what he was saying. And totally bad mouthing someone who has risked their whole risked their life, their whole career. They've been risking their life for the American people, being in the military, and then saying that, oh, he gets to the White House and he just can't handle it. It's like, really? I think he's handled a lot harder things than being in the White House. I mean, trust me, I'm sure he's handled a lot harder things than that. But just that kind of stuff, putting that stuff out there, and not even knowing if John Kelly is the one who actually, like, gave the information. That if John Kelly was one of the sources, because that's the thing. Like Atlantic, they're not naming their sources, so we don't know exactly who it is. But President Trump is bad mouthing John Kelly, not even knowing if John Kelly is the one who was one of the sources. That's how crazy it is, right? Just attack someone, don't even know if they're the source or not. Yeah, that's crazy. All right, guys, we're going to be on for about 2 more minutes. So if you have any questions, go ahead and put it in the chat. And Thelma's saying they have them on tape. Which tape are you talking about? Are you talking about the older tape or something newer? I haven't even turned my TV on today. Maybe I should turn that on. And Mamie saying, thank you for all that you do. Thank you very much, Mamie. I appreciate that. All right, guys. Yeah, Enrique, I don't know exactly what you're saying. I know you're talking about the monuments that the left wants to take down. Yeah, I don't know if you're asking a question, you're making a statement. Yeah, I don't think that goes along with what I was talking about, but so burn all the money too. I don't know what that means either. If you guys have a question for me, ask a question. If you have a statement to make sure you tell me the full statement that you're making. Yeah, and that's what Dan's saying here. If politicians don't get reelected, they have no incentive to do a stimulus bill. Yeah, they don't have an incentive anymore. It's like, hey, they're going to be out of office. It's not going to be their problem. So they're not going to have an incentive. So if you want to get something small done right now that will last until just after the election, that's what it sounds like they want to do with the skinny bill and with the stuff that they're talking about now. Get something that will last past the election. If they get reelected, then they'll deal with it then, which they probably won't. But see, this is the problem. Like, you're going to have some politicians, like, let's give Mitch McConnell as an example. Let's say Mitch McConnell gets reelected, but some of the other people don't get reelected. Well, guess what? They're not going to do a bill. They're just going to wait, and that's what they will say. You know what? We need to be fair. We need to wait until the next administration comes in, or we need to wait until the next politicians come in Congress in order to do more legislation. It would be bad for them to do something right before another more legislators come in, like new legislators. It would be bad to do something right now. It's going to be lame duck. They're not going to do anything, and they know that. But they want the people to believe, oh yeah, you know what? We'll just do another one if we don't have enough money. Like if we run out of money. Enrique saying, "Are we writing history?" ? I don't know. What are you talking about, Enrique? Let's see. And Maggie saying, "I vote for Trump 2020." Let's see. Thanks for all that you do. Happy holidays. Thank you very much. Yes, and happy Labor Day to everyone. Get that extra day off. That should be nice. I'm actually off on Monday, but it's still nice to have everyone else off. Like one of the things, well, I'm going to be honest. Sometimes it's actually good. Mondays are good to be off because I can kind of get things done and not have to wait in lines and things like that. But it is also nice sometimes when everyone's off on a Monday, then you can kind of spend time with family and stuff. All right. People, I don't know why you guys all say I'm voting for Trump. I'm voting for Trump. I could care less who you vote for. I'm just giving you the information as I see it. Okay. I'm not trying to entice you to vote for Biden or to vote for Trump or anything like that. I'm just looking at it. We're talking about stimulus checks and the stimulus package. That's the main focus. And if there are things that are in there that I think just aren't right or just sound wrong, then yeah, I'm going to address that. I'm going to say, I don't know about that. $300 billion just, mysteriously is sitting somewhere and no one knows about it. Yeah, I'm going to bring that up. And I am going to question the fact that you're not telling us where it's coming from. So, yeah, I'm not telling you how to vote, and no one ever should do that. You should never be in a situation where you have people telling you what way, who to vote for, who not to vote for. But bring up the important information that's out there, right? So if you see stuff, and if there are a lot of people who are interested, like we all have a common interest right now, that's the stimulus checks, right? So we have two sides that are negotiating, trying to figure out what's the best option for us when it comes to stimulus checks. I'm bringing that stuff to you guys. I'm telling you what one side says. I'm telling you what the other side says. And then you decide who you think is more for the people and who you want to vote for. That's basically how it is. So you don't have to tell me how you're voting. Just vote. That's all I'm saying. Go to the polls and vote. All right. Okay, guys. We're going to go ahead and end here. Thank you guys very much. We didn't reach 1,000 likes. We'll get there right after the thing. I didn't even really say it too much on this live stream. But if you have not hit the like button, please do so. We'll be back on. I'm not sure if I'm doing a live tomorrow. I will let you guys know. So as soon as I can, I'll let you know. I will be putting out a video tomorrow for sure, so you guys can be ready for that. But other than that, I think that's it. I think that's all. Go over to the Discord so you can have a chance at winning $50. So you're going to want to go over there and do that. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.